Okay, welcome to the week ahead. Today's all the news is about
parallel traders bringing their
contraband.
Yeah,
contraband.
Yeah. Parallel traders carrying their contraband into China.
Yes,
because it isn't contraband here.
Yeah,
it's legally brought into Hong Kong. As far as Hong Kong guys are concerned, with the exception of more than 2 tins of milk powder going out, it's all legal. It's just once it gets to the other side of that bridge in Shenzhen, and then all of a sudden.
Yes, and the word contraband
Yeah.
can be used interchangeably with
Right.
parallel imports, right?
No,
It's not the same.
No, not really. Not really. I mean, there's imports, and then there's the imports that run parallel to it, right? So, for example, let's say Friezo, big milk powder company, they're sending container after container into China through ports all across China directly, right? But then you got these little guys that are bringing it into Hong Kong and bringing it like a tin here, a tin there. That's running parallel to the big company imports that are coming.
But that's
through.
contraband, no?
Well, not necessarily. Right?
Ah.
When it gets when it gets to Hong Kong, it's still legal. When it leaves Hong Kong, it's still legal. It becomes smuggled or contraband if they don't pay the appropriate duties, or if it is brought illegally into China. Right? It can be parallel and still be legal. So, for example, Friezo brings in container after container into Hong Kong as well for the Hong Kong market. But if I'm a guy who brings in like 10 tins by myself into Hong Kong, that's parallel trading, but it's perfectly legal. It's not contraband. Contraband and parallel are two separate. People tend to conflate them because they think, oh, those parallel traders, they must be doing something illegal. Not necessarily. Not necessarily. It depends on whether or not they're paying the appropriate taxes. If there's no taxes, no problem. And if they're declaring it. But if they don't pay the taxes, if they don't declare it, or if there's a ban on them bringing it in, then it's contraband.
Oh, but I always put another C word with the contraband issues.
Okay.
Counterfeit.
And counterfeits, which is another one. Yeah.
As long as there are still many types of counterfeit goods in China, in the mainland, then contraband goods will exist.
Will exist, yes.
Yeah.
And
because people does not trust the goods in China, so they have to buy it in Hong
Kong
and bring it back.
Yeah. And so there's things flowing that way. The ones that flow into Hong Kong from China. I don't know if you know about this one. Here's another one for you. Illicit.
Yep.
Right?
Illicit.
They talk about illicit tobacco. And they differentiate that because they're not necessarily counterfeit. They may be counterfeit, but quite often they're legitimate products. But the point of bringing them here is the taxes are much lower. Then they come in and they don't pay the Hong Kong tax, and they distribute them in the market cheaper, much cheaper.
Yeah.
And that's another issue, of things coming out of Hong Kong.
So we have 3 words.
Yes.
Keyword for today is contraband.
Yep.
And you have to look out for counterfeit.
Yes.
As well as illicit goods.
Counterfeit in China leads to contraband coming into China of legitimate goods from Hong Kong, and who knows, they may be offsetting those payments by bringing illicit tobacco into Hong Kong.
Oh, well
said. It's like the old opium for silver trade, except for now it's milk powder for smokes. Hong Kongers are getting the poison, like the good stuff, the tea, is going. We used to go that way, and the opium would go into China, but now we get the tobacco and they get the milk powder.
All right, thank you, Andrew.
All right, cheers.